At 70, the noise begins to quiet. The children are grown. The career is behind you. The calendar isn't as full. And one day, you wake up and ask a question you never thought you'd have to ask again. What now? The world doesn't often speak to us after this age. It speaks to youth, to ambition, to growth, but rarely to the soul that has already given so much. And yet, in this quieter chapter, something deeply human still stirs inside: the longing for purpose. If you've ever looked around and felt like your days were filled with activity, but not meaning, this video is for you. If you've ever felt invisible or unsure of your place in this new stage of life, you are not alone. Before we go any further, I want to ask you to pause right now and subscribe to this channel. Here, we don't just talk about aging. We talk about aging with dignity, clarity, and truth. And if you're watching this and feeling even a little lost, comment below. I'm searching for purpose. Let's begin this conversation together. Because here's the truth. Purpose is not reserved for the young. It doesn't retire. It doesn't disappear when your job ends or when the family no longer needs you in the same way. Purpose evolves, and finding it again after 70 is not only possible, it's vital. In this video, we're going to walk through the steps that help you rediscover a sense of purpose. We're not chasing productivity. We're seeking meaning. And sometimes that begins in the most unexpected places. Stay with me, because this might just change the way you look at the rest of your life. Let's begin. Start by letting go of who you used to be. For most of our lives, purpose is tied to doing. We raise families. We build careers. We serve others. Our value is visible, tangible, measurable. But after 70, the roles we once held begin to fade. You're no longer mom in the same way, or manager, or caregiver, or provider. And with that change, something inside begins to quietly unravel. One of the most painful and necessary steps in rediscovering purpose is this: letting go of the identity you no longer need. This isn't easy. It requires mourning. Yes, mourning, not just people we've lost, but the version of ourselves we've outgrown. The busyness that once made us feel needed. The titles that once gave us pride. The responsibilities that once filled our days and defined who we were. But holding on too tightly to those old versions keeps us from stepping into the purpose waiting for us now. You cannot walk forward while looking behind. So ask yourself honestly, who am I trying to be that no longer fits? Are you still trying to be the fixer? The strong one? The self-sacrificing parent? Are you afraid to admit that your energy is different now? That your soul craves a gentler pace? This is not failure. This is evolution. And until you can say, that was who I was and I honor it, but it's not who I need to be anymore, you won't have space to discover what your next chapter is truly about. Still watching? Comment right now. I'm ready to release what no longer fits. Let's name it. Let's witness one another's bravery. Because letting go isn't weakness. It's a sign of wisdom. Here's the truth. Purpose after 70 isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about clearing the clutter, making room, listening again to that quiet voice inside that says, there's still something I'm meant to do. But that voice can't be heard if it's drowned in noise from the past. So today, take a breath. Remember everything you've built, everything you've given, and then gently say goodbye to the version of yourself that did the heavy lifting. The next chapter doesn't ask you to hustle. It asks you to listen. In the next part, we'll begin to answer this question. Once I let go of who I was, how do I rediscover what makes me come alive again? Stay with me. Reconnect with what quietly brings you joy. After letting go of old roles, many people are left with a haunting silence, a blank space. And the question naturally arises, now that I'm not who I used to be, who am I? This is where most people get stuck. They expect purpose to arrive like a lightning bolt, a grand mission, a calling from the heavens. But the truth is, purpose doesn't usually shout. It whispers. And that whisper often comes from one quiet place, joy. Now, let me be clear. This isn't the joy of parties or loud celebrations. It's the quiet, sacred kind. The peace of tending a garden, the satisfaction of fixing something with your hands, the warmth of helping a neighbor, the calm in a morning walk. It's the subtle smile that comes when you realize you're exactly where you're supposed to be, even if no one is watching. After 70, purpose isn't found in performance. It's found in presence. So the question becomes, what do you do that makes time disappear? When was the last time you felt fully alive, even just for a moment? Was it while painting, listening to someone's story, holding a grandchild's hand, reading something that made you cry? These are not small things. These are clues. And for many seniors, these clues have been buried under decades of responsibility. So if you're feeling disconnected, don't blame yourself. Just begin again. Start small. Try something new, or return to something old. Pick up a pen. Kneel in the dirt. Volunteer once a week. Start a journal. Teach someone what you know. You don't have to know where it leads. You just have to take the first step. If you're still here, comment below, I remember what brings me joy. Or, if you don't know yet, write, I'm ready to rediscover it. Let's walk this together. Because joy isn't selfish. It's sacred. It's your soul reminding you that you're still alive, still needed, still capable of beauty. And when you follow joy, even in small ways, something happens. The heart softens, the mind awakens, the world begins to look different. And from that place, purpose begins to rise again. Not as a duty, not as an obligation, but as a gift. In the next part, we'll go deeper into that gift and explore how serving others, even in small ways, can restore a powerful sense of meaning. Because purpose after 70 isn't just about what we do for ourselves. It's about what we still have to offer the world. Stay with me. Serve in small ways, because purpose often lies in giving. One of the greatest myths about aging is that we become less useful with time, that our ability to contribute fades as our bodies slow down. But nothing could be further from the truth. In fact, our deepest capacity to give often emerges after 70, when our wisdom has ripened, our egos have softened, and our hearts have been stretched wide by life. But here's the shift. Giving now doesn't require grandeur. It doesn't have to be a full-time role or a major project. Purpose at this age is often found in small, consistent acts of service. Acts that may go unnoticed by the world, but are never unnoticed by the soul. Maybe it's listening deeply to someone younger who needs guidance. Maybe it's baking bread for a neighbor, praying for someone quietly each morning, calling a friend who's lost their spouse, volunteering once a month at the local shelter or library. These gestures are not small. They are sacred. And there's something else you need to know. The world still needs what you carry. Your perspective, your steadiness, your stories, your ability to see what others often miss. You may no longer lead a business. You may no longer have a packed calendar, but your presence, your voice, your care, these are gifts this world is aching for. Still watching? I invite you to comment now. I still have something to give. Say not just for me, but for yourself. Let that be your truth today. Because when we serve, even quietly, we stop being trapped in our own thoughts. We begin to see others again. And in seeing them, we see ourselves more clearly. We remember that purpose is not about spotlight. It's about connection. And here's the miracle. When you give, your heart opens. When your heart opens, your loneliness eases. And when loneliness fades, something deeper enters, meaning. Maybe you're wondering where to start. The answer is simple. Start where you are, with what you have, for whoever is right in front of you. That is enough. Because the truth is, people don't need you to save them. They just need you to show up, to be kind, to be present. And no matter your age, you can still do that. In the next part, we'll talk about something most people overlook. How a sense of purpose isn't just about giving to others, but also about becoming friends with yourself. Because sometimes, the final frontier of meaning is learning how to be at peace in your own company. Don't miss it. Learn to be at peace in your own company. At 70, life begins to strip away distractions. The house is quieter. The phone rings less often. People we love move away. or pass away, and we're left with someone we often avoided facing for decades, ourselves. But here's the truth no one tells you. Your own company can become the most sacred friendship of your life. For years, our identity was wrapped up in doing, in helping others, in running households, in being needed. But when those demands fade, a quiet question begins to rise. Who am I when no one is looking? When no one is asking anything of me? When I'm simply here? This isn't an easy question. In fact, it may be one of the hardest. Because for many, the silence is uncomfortable at first. It feels lonely. But over time, with intention and compassion, that same silence becomes a space of self-discovery. Purpose after 70 isn't just about reaching out to others. It's about reaching inward, learning how to sit with yourself, not in judgment, but in kindness. It's about asking, what do I need today? What thoughts am I holding on to that no longer serve me? Can I offer myself the same gentleness I've offered others for so long? This isn't selfishness. It's spiritual maturity. So how do you begin? You start by creating small rituals of presence. Maybe it's journaling for 10 minutes each morning. Maybe it's drinking your coffee in stillness and gratitude. Maybe it's taking a walk without needing to talk, fix, or do. You begin by treating yourself like someone worth spending time with, because you are. If you're still here, comment now. I'm learning to enjoy my own company. Let others know this is possible. That peace doesn't come from being constantly busy. It comes from becoming truly settled within. And here's the beautiful truth. The more at peace you are with yourself, the more clearly you'll hear your deeper purpose. Because purpose doesn't come to those who are running. It comes to those who are still enough to listen. This is the chapter where you stop rushing, where you stop proving, where you stop hiding from your own soul. You've earned this stillness. You've earned this companionship with yourself. Let it guide you now. In the final part of this video, we'll reflect on how all these pieces, letting go, rediscovering joy, serving others, and befriending yourself, come together to form a purpose that's not just about what you do, but who you are. Stay with me. This last message may be the one your heart has been waiting for. At 70, purpose is no longer something you chase. It's something you remember. You remember that you are more than the roles you once played, more than the schedule you kept, more than the people you served. You are a soul, a presence, a witness to life, and just that is enough. Purpose in this season of life does not need a title. It does not demand noise. It does not wear a name tag or announce itself loudly. It arrives quietly in the moments you are fully present, when you feel useful not because of what you achieve, but because of how you show up. Letting go of who you were, listening for what brings you peace, giving from a full heart, learning to sit with yourself. These are not tasks to complete. They are ways of being. And when you live this way, even one day at a time, you're living with purpose. Deep purpose, the kind that heals not just your own heart, but the hearts of those around you. If you made it to this point in the video, I want to say something very clearly. It is not too late for you, not too late to grow, not too late to discover something new, not too late to feel needed, seen, and truly alive. Comment below right now. I still have purpose. Let's say it together, not as a hope, but as a fact. And if this message touched something inside you, please subscribe to this channel. Here, we speak the truths few others will say. And if you know someone, perhaps a friend, a parent, a neighbor, who needs this reminder, share this video with them. Because every person deserves to know, purpose does not retire. It evolves. And so can you. Let the next chapter begin.